All right. So what do you got for report card? Where are we starting?
We're going to start at quarterback. And I am sorry in advance, but it's a D.
Hey now. I think that's fine. I mean, I don't care what the reason is, if he's seeing ghosts or not, if the tackles make him uncomfortable or not. At the bottom, at the end of the day, that's his play.
Yeah, no, exactly. So the report card is the quarterback is a D. Running backs is a B plus. I get why you might say A. But I will say that Dylan Sampson was averaging less than 3 yards a carry until the fourth quarter, and Deshaun Bishop missing that block. I had to give it a B plus. Am I harsh, Dave? Should I give it an A?
That's crazy. I would give it an A, and I don't think as much about their lack of efficiency or productivity earlier, because I don't think Tennessee was trying to do that. I think they were trying to come out with tempo and get the ball downfield, and the guys were open. They just didn't connect.
Okay. Fair enough.
To me, that's coaching more than it's like Sampson didn't show up. You know, if you hand it to him earlier in the game, he's probably going to be productive earlier in the game.
Yeah, I could see that. All right. So next for me is I'm going to say I'm going to wide receivers. I apologize. And that is a C minus. I think whatever the reason is, and I get what your point is with like Squirrel White being hurt, but there were some missed blocks. I do think there were some poorly run routes, and I just can't look past those things, quite honestly. So
that's fine. I would put it more on Nico, so I'll go a slightly. That's crazy. But I'm only probably a C plus. I mean, we're not way apart. What else?
All right, so tight ends is a C. I just didn't think they were that impactful in this game. They could have been
incomplete.
Sorry?
How about an incomplete?
Yeah, and this is going to get to the coaching and Joey Halzle. I just don't think they're being used properly right now.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, you're absolutely right. All right, who's next?
All right, so next
even Pat Ryan, former Tennessee quarterback, who I listened to in halftime, said, "Where's Ethan Davis?" You know, that would be a really tough matchup. If he's even an average blocker at this point, where's Ethan Davis? All right, who's next?
I mean, he was open on a play and Nico didn't see him. But yeah, all right. So to round out the offense, I'm giving a D plus to the offensive line. And that's hard for me because I think the interior offensive line deserves an A. But I think the horrid play of the tackles just pushes it all the way down to a D plus because it just outweighs how bad the interior was.
Hey now. I got no argument with that. All right, defense.
All right, so on the defensive side, I don't give these out lightly, Dave, and you know I don't give these out lightly. I'm giving an A plus to the defensive line.
Hey now. I can't argue with that. I thought they played great.
Yep.
In the game, if not for that James Pierce play, I'll go to my grave saying that.
No, I totally understand. I totally agree. I'm giving a B plus to the linebackers. I thought Florida was able to move the ball a little bit too much, largely because Keenan Peele got hurt. But the linebacker, it's not enough for me to punish them too much. I mean, they still made plays, so I'll go B plus for linebackers.
Hey now, I can roll with that. No, I'm sorry, with Peele out. That's crazy. I just thought the middle of the field was wide open. Jeremiah T-Lander is not ready.
I think you were too hard on him. I think T-Lander made some nice plays, but maybe you're right. Maybe this was sometimes you see things from the perspective of the team you're covering, and I'm forgetting that Billy Napier was on the other side, and maybe T-Lander looked okay because Billy Napier didn't exploit where he's weak because he's Billy Napier.
Yeah, and he got folded up like a metal chair at one point by a Florida offensive lineman. That it's a good thing he's more flexible than me because I'd have broke. All right. What's next, Caleb?
Defensive backs. A minus only because of that touchdown pass. But Dave, I almost wanted to go A plus for defensive backs in this game.
The first time where I saw Will Brooks be out of position. Hey now. He's got to get more drop into that defense. Now, I think they should have brought pressure. But if you're going to run that, you've got to get more depth. And he was kind of caught in no man's land. You want to make DJ Lagway run that ball. And he seemed like he was sort of in a pseudo spy position. If so, then attack. But all right, who's next?
Yeah, that's actually a great point, and maybe that's why Tim Banks did drop back in coverage, because he banked on Will Brooks being in position, because he usually is. So we'll give him some credit.
Hey, Elias, I do want to be clear. I agree with you. I think T-Lander was a massive upgrade on what happened last year when Peely went out. I agree with you there. No question. So somewhere in the middle. All right, Caleb, who's next?
Alrighty. So we're gonna go kicking A+. Max Gilbert made his only field goal, and honestly, I thought Josh Heupel was way too risky in overtime with how good of a kicker Max Gilbert is.
Hey now.
Okay, I can go with that.
Punting is a B-. Jackson Ross did flip the field, had a couple of great punts, but Dave, those line drive punts are setting up some good returns from other teams, and he's got to put more hang time on the ball when he punts it.
Yeah, I feel like it's a matter of time until Tennessee gives one up for some reason. I've thought that for a couple of weeks.
Hey now.
All right, what's next?
Alrighty, and the two more, the return game, B+. Javon McCoy had 2 really good returns, but honestly, he had one that he should have returned, and he called a fair catch, which was a mistake. And he also had a return that he slowed what he could have done because he bobbled the return. So that's the only reason it's not an A.
The bobble scared me. That in and of itself, I'm dropping a grade.
That's crazy.
I mean, that you just catch the ball. Just catch the ball.
I agree. And then
you know what they needed to do? The old Johnny Majors trick. So they would have the punter punt the ball from the top of Neyland Stadium. Do you know that?
Really?
So it'd make it more difficult to return it because the wind's going to affect it and that sort of thing. That's what I was told. I don't know that, but that's what I was always told. All right, who's next?
And we close with coaching, and I think coaching's a C. I don't think coaching was horrible in this game because, one, Tim Banks is coaching, and I think Tim Banks was fine for most of the game outside of that one call. And offense, look, guys, you can blame the coaching for the other 364 days out of the year, but on Saturday, I think Joey Halzle and Josh Heupel their hands are tied right now with what they can do.
I agree, but that's their fault because they recruited
it's their
the same
fault.
guys.
They did. I mean, you can blame them for recruiting and everything else off the field. But when I do coaching on the field, I just judge their play calling on the field. And I didn't think it was terrible.